Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we are jumping into the incredible hidden science that's working around the clock just to keep you healthy. It's a story of heroes, villains, and an epic battle happening inside of you, literally right now. Just think about that for a second. What if the biggest fight for your life isn't something you can see or hear or touch? It's a microscopic war. And your body? Well, your body is the battlefield. So how do you win a war against an invisible enemy? Let's find out. So we're starting our journey right here, on this invisible battlefield. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, wars are being waged inside your body. It's a constant struggle between your defenses and these tiny invaders trying to take over. Now, before we meet the invaders, let's be clear on what we're actually fighting for. We often think of health as just, well, not being sick, right? But it's so much more than that. True health is the whole shebang, complete physical, mental, and social well-being. This is the prize. This is the foundation our body is constantly fighting to protect. Okay, so if your body is a battlefield, who exactly are you fighting? Well, meet the invaders, pathogens. This is really just the catch-all name for all those microscopic villains, like bacteria and viruses, that can cause disease. And these invaders, they're pretty clever. They don't just show up out of nowhere. No, they have specific attack routes. They can be hiding in your food or water, floating in the air after someone sneezes, pass through a simple handshake, or even delivered personally by a tiny insect. So, to win this war, you've got to know your enemy. So let's dive into this and get to know the invaders we're up against. We're going to profile the main culprits and check out their rap sheets to understand exactly how they operate. So here they are, the main culprits. First, you've got bacteria, which multiply at incredible speeds and release toxins. Then there are viruses. These are the ultimate hijackers. They literally turn your own cells into little virus factories. Fungi often prefer to just set up camp on your skin. And finally, you have protozoa. These are single-celled organisms that often need a getaway driver, like an insect, to get to their target. And speaking of getaway drivers, let's talk about those vectors. Mosquitoes are a perfect example. I mean, they're basically nature's tiny flying assassins. They can pick up a deadly disease like malaria from one person and then just inject it into another, all without ever feeling a thing themselves. A truly perfect partner in crime. Look at this number. 20,000. What could that possibly be? Well, that's the number of potentially germ-filled microdroplets that can launch into the air from one single uncovered sneeze. It's like an invisible, microscopic storm. All right, we've met the villains. But for every villain, there's a hero, right? So now it's time to meet the elite security force, working 24/7 to protect you, your immune system. You know, we often think of things like a fever or inflammation as the sickness itself, but they're not. They are the battle cries. A fever is your body literally turning up the heat to create an environment that's too hot for the invaders to survive. Vomiting? That's just a forced evacuation of toxins. It's your body fighting back. And those symptoms, they're the evidence. So how do we make our immune system even smarter? Well, we put it through training. A vaccine is basically a boot camp for your body's army. It introduces a weak or dead version of an enemy, which lets your system study its tactics, learn its weaknesses, and create antibodies, all without any of the real danger. That way, your body is immunized and ready for the actual invasion. And the result of all that training? Antibodies. Think of these as the veteran soldiers of your immune system. Once they've seen an enemy, they never ever forget it. They patrol your body for life, ready to identify and neutralize that specific threat the moment it dares to show up again. So, your internal army is amazing, but it shouldn't have to fight alone. That's where we come in. We have a whole toolkit of external defenses we can use every single day to support our immune system and keep those invaders out in the first place. And this is your first line of defense, hygiene. And it's built on simple, powerful habits. I'm talking about bathing daily, washing your hands frequently, keeping your surroundings clean, eating a balanced diet, exercising. Every single one of these actions reinforces your body's castle walls, making it that much harder for any invader to get in. Now, sometimes accidents just happen, so let's run a quick drill. You've just touched a hot pan. It's a minor burn. What's the very first thing you do? Right. You want to cool it down immediately with cool running water, not ice. Then cover it with a clean bandage to protect it. And here's the big one. If a blister forms, that's your body's natural protection at work. So whatever you do, leave it alone. Do not pop it. Okay, let's try a more intense one. What about a snake bite? This is a really high-stakes situation where knowing what to do and what not to do is absolutely critical. The most important step here is to stay calm. Panic makes your heart beat faster, which only spreads the venom quicker. So keep the person still, you can apply pressure, and then get professional medical help as fast as you can. And please, forget what you've seen in the movies. Do not try to be a hero and suck out the venom. It doesn't work, and it can actually make things a lot worse. And finally, we have to talk about self-sabotage. You see, while our bodies are fighting off all these external threats, certain choices can weaken our defenses from the inside. Substances like alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs can act like traitors, damaging our vital organs and compromising the very systems that are designed to protect us. So we've seen the invaders and we've talked about the internal threats. This brings us to our final and most important section, your role in all of this. Because after exploring the battlefield and meeting the heroes and villains, the ultimate power really comes back to one person, you. It's all about becoming the guardian of your own health. Your well-being doesn't exist in a vacuum, It's connected to the world around you. While your personal hygiene is your first shield, your community's actions, like ensuring good sanitation or getting rid of stagnant water where mosquitoes breed, that's the fortress that protects everyone. So, I want to leave you with this thought. Your health is not an accident. It's not something that just happens to you. It's the result of knowledge, habits, and choices. Your body is an incredible, self-healing, self-defending marvel. The question is, what choices will you make today to secure its future?